Hello everyone, this is Swapnil. So in this tutorial video series, we are going to learn about the Spring Boot security and JWT token authentication. So in this video, we will learn how to make our application secure, how to add the security to our existing application. Then once we have added the security, then we will learn about what are the auto configuration already present in our security. Then how the request comes and how it got served. If the request comes, then where it goes first, and from where what are the validation are performed there for in the security. From there we will see get the access to the resource, how the request get the request to the secured resource, and if the request doesn't have any authentication detail, then how our application restrict that request, that we all going to see. In this security concept, we will learn about the what are the filters available in the Spring Boot security, then what are the filter chains, then what is the filter chain proxy, and what are the delegating filter chains. Then we will see the some basic concept which we going to use frequently in this tutorial series, that is principal, what is principal, then what is the authentication object, then what are the authorization, what is the security context, that we are going to see. Once we have done with this Spring security, we will jump into the JWT token. There we will learn how this JWT token form, what are the basic part of the JWT token, then how to configure the secret, then how to set the expiry time for this JWT token, and how to get the validation and authorization object from this JWT token, that we are going to see. So let's start with the Spring Boot security first. So firstly, we will see how the request comes and where it goes first. Now consider for the application which doesn't have the security implemented, means it's a non-secured or insecure application. So first request comes, where it goes first, so it will goes to the dispatcher servlet, and here in the dispatcher servlet it checks for our whatever the URL mapping we have already specified. So if you have the knowledge about the servlet, we specify the URL mapping there, right? Or in our REST APIs, we specified the request mapping, and in the request mapping we specify the URL. That is nothing but the URL mapping, means for this particular URL this method should be executed, that kind of called as the URL mapping. So here in dispatcher servlet checks for the all the URL mapping, and it will forward that request to the particular controller. Whatever the controller is mapped for this particular URL will got called, and from this controller the particular method get execute and we got the response. Hope so guys, you are clear with this flow in the without security application. So request comes to the dispatcher servlet, and here in the dispatcher servlet it's check for the URL mapping, and from URL mapping it called the correspondence controller, and from this controller the particular method got executed and we got the response. This is the flow for the application which doesn't have the security. Now let's check for the secured application. So the request comes to the dispatcher servlet in the without secured application. So but what I want, the request goes to the dispatcher server. Before that, I want some checks there. I want some security to be there which validate our request, and if the request has that particular validation, if that request succeed that validation, then only comes to the dispatcher servlet. So that is done by the filters. So request will comes to the filter first, and from filters it will goes to the dispatcher servlet, and from dispatcher servlet it will goes to the controller, right? And from controller particular method will get execute and we will get the response. So the basic difference from the secured application and without security application is the filters. So the any request will goes to the filter first, and from filters it will check some, it's whatever the validation we have applied, it will be checked, and if it's validate, then only the request goes to the dispatcher servlet, and from dispatcher servlet it goes to the controller. So here I have mentioned as a filters. So in our security applications in Spring Security, we have the multiple filters already available. What are the multiple filters available? So we have the authentication filters, then logout filter, then remember me filter, and many more filters are available in the our Spring Security packages. So that filters will get called whenever that kind of request comes in. Okay, so when the request comes to these filters, so you may have question how we decide that this request will goes to the which kind of filters, right? So that we need not to worry about this all configuration is auto configured, means it has already configured by the Spring Security. We need not to worry about the which filter should be called. Okay, so what the Spring Security has done, it has created the filter chains, mean one filter chain contains the multiple filters, right? So suppose we have the authentication filters, and second one is suppose the logout filter, so that will comes in a one filter chain, then remember me filter, and another one exception translation filter will comes in another chain. So we will have the multiple filter chain, and one particular filter chain contain the multiple filters. Okay, so this is already auto configured by the Spring Security. We have the one more called as a delegating filter proxy, that will be called very first. So I will show you. Suppose this is the request. So now we are going to see the flow in a depth. Okay, so first request comes to the delegating filter proxy. This filter proxy will decide where I have to send this request. So it will decide which filter chain proxy I have to call. From this filter chain proxy, it will decide where I have to send this request, means which filter chain I have to call. And this filter chain has the multiple filters. So here you can find this filter chain has the multiple filters: authentication filter, logout filter, remember me filter, login filter, and many more. Here I have specified few filters only. If you see in our application, secured application, you will find a lot of filters already are there. So that is already configured, but if you want your logic for this particular type of filter, then we have to override this particular kind of filter. So we will see this in a video. So the request comes to this filter chain, and from this filter chain particular filter will got execute. Okay, and after that it will goes to the dispatcher servlet, and from this dispatcher servlet it goes to the controller. Hope so guys you are clear with this flow. Okay, so now we are going to see the some more basic concept which we are going to frequently use this in this tutorial series. So let's see that. The first one is the principle. So what is mean by principal? Principal, this thing we are going to use frequently. This word we are going to use frequently in our tutorial series. So what is mean by principal? So principal is nothing but the user. The user who is going to use our application. Principal you can consider as a logged in user. The one who is going to use our application, nothing but the principal. Okay, then this principal must have some authorization. What is mean by authorization? Authorization is nothing but the authorities. What are the authorities? And what are that authorities? Means it should have some role defined. That can be considered, that can be admin user, that can be super admin user, or that can be a simple user, or it might be the guest user. So that kind of authorization must have defined for this particular principal. Principal is the logged in user, and authorization means the what are the roles we have defined for this particular user. Now using this principal and authorization, we populate one more object that called as authentication. This authentication object will have this both detail, principal and authorization. Authentication is one of the object which has this principal and authorization. Now this authentication object will be populated in security context. And where we get this security context? Security context must be in the session. Means if one thing you must keep in mind, if the user is logged in, then we must get the security context in the session. If the user is already logged in, if the user is logged in, then the security context is present in the session, and this security context is not empty. This security context contains the authentication object, and this authentication object contains the principal and its authorization detail if the user is already logged in. Hope so guys you are clear with this concept. Here some more concept we are going to use for this authentication purpose. We are going to authentication manager in the Spring Security, right? Then for calling getting this authorization detail, we are going to call our user detail service from the Spring Security. You get the two new names here. One is authentication manager and second one is the user detail service. These are already configured by the Spring Security, but if you want to override, if you want to add your some more logic, then you have to override this authentication manager and user detail service. Hope so guys you are clear with this concept. Now let's check for the flows. Suppose we have the application and where user going to access the particular resource. Request for insecure resource prior to the login means user is yet to logged in. That means this is the guest user and trying to any resource, consider any page of our application. Then consider our home page, and home page is considered as a non-secure, means we didn't require the user should be logged in to visit our home page. That kind of the scenario, right? So what is the flow then? How it is got executed? See, this is the request and we are trying to access this resource. Request user is yet to logged in and resource is non-secure, insecure resource. Okay, so the request will comes to the security context persistence filter. Means request has already passed through the delegating filter proxy, then it comes to the filter chain proxy, and after that it come here security context persistent filters. So what work this security persistence filter does? So it checks for the security context in the session. If the user, I already told, if the user is already logged in, then we got the security context in the session. But now user has not logged in, is yet to logged in, means we didn't find that security context, didn't find in the session. So what it does, it checks for the security context in the session. If not, then create the empty security context and populate into the security context holder. So request comes first to the security context persistence filter, and it check if the security context is already present in the session. As the user is not logged in, it didn't find the security context in the session. So what it does, it will create the empty security context and populate into the security context holder. Now this request will delegate to the logout filter, next filter in this filter chain. So here, is it the request for the logout? No. So it will forward to the authentication filter. So is this the request for the authentication? No. So it will goes to the remember me filter. Is it the request for remember me filter? No. So it will goes to the exception translation filter. So is there any exception? No. Then it will forward it to the filter security interceptor. So the main role of filter security interceptor is that it will check the what kind of resource it going to access, and here the resource is non-secure. So any kind of security or any kind of role doesn't required for accessing this resource. So what it will grant the access to the resource. So the for accessing this resource, no need of user should logged in, no need of logged in user. So what it will do, it will delete this security context, as resource need not required the user should logged in. So that's why it will delete the security context in the session. Hope so guys you are cleared with this flow. So next flow is request for secured resource prior to the login. Means we are trying to access the any secured resource without logging. Suppose we have the any, suppose we here you can find consider as a Facebook page, right? And if you are trying to access the Facebook home page, and if you are not logged in, it will redirect to the home page. Means it will redirect to the login page. Means home page is the secured one. Until and unless you are not logged in, it will not allow us to access the home page. Means home page is the Facebook home page is the secured resource. That kind of scenario here. So let's check. So this is our request and we are trying to access the secured resource without logged in. Okay, so what will happen? So same as previous slide, it will first goes to the security context persistent filter. Here it will check in the session. If the user is already logged in, then in session it will get the security context. But here user is not logged in, so it will not get the security context. That's why it will create the empty security context and it will populate into the security context holder. Now this request will delegate to the logout filter. Is this request for the logout? No. Then request goes to the authentication filter. Is it the request for authentication? No. Then it will goes to the remember. No, it is not remember me request. Now it will goes to exception. So is it the request for exception? No. Then it will goes to the filter security interceptor. So filter security interceptor will check, oh, this resource is the secured, and it required the user should be logged in. So is it the user logged in? So what it will create? It will throws the exception, that is authentication exception. And now this filter security interceptor will throws this to the exception translation filter. Now once this exception comes to the exception translation filter, so exception translation filter will check the what kind of exception is this. So it got the thing that this exception is related to the authentication. So what it will do, it will forward this exception request or redirect to the login authentication entry point or authentication entry point, and from this we will get redirect to the login URL. Hope so guys you are clear. Here you can find the request comes to the filter security interceptor. As we are trying to access the secured resource, this filter security interceptor will throw the exception, and once this exception reaches to the exception translation filter, it will check the what kind of exception is this. Now it is the authentication exception, so it will redirect this to the login authentication entry point or authentication entry point, whatever we have specified for the particular exception that will called, and from this we are redirecting to the login URL. So that is the flow when we trying to access the secured resource prior to login. Hope so guys you are clear with this flow. Now the next flow is request for authentication, that is login. Means user has provided username and password and will try to log into the application. So how this flow will execute, let's see. So this is the request which has all the detail related to authentication, means it has a username and password, and this is for the login. So request comes to the security context persistent filter. Here it will check if the user is already logged in. No, it's not logged in, so it will create the empty security context and populate into the security context holder. Now the request goes to the logout filter. So is it the request for logout? No. Then it will goes to the authentication filter. So is it the request for authentication filter? Yes. So this will not go, this chain will break here, and it will not goes to the remember me filter, exception filter. So from this authentication filter will forward this request to the authentication manager bean. So I already told in the previous slide we will going to use the authentication manager bean for the authentication purpose. So request comes to the authentication filter here, and from this authentication filter it checks, oh, this request is for the authentication, so it will forward this request to the authentication manager bean. Then from authentication manager bean will return the authentication object. In previous slide I have already shown a basic concept related to principal and authorities. So that authentication object will be written by this authentication manager bean. This manager bean will return this authentication object. But how this authentication object will be created, how this will get the information that this particular user has these authorities, how? For that it will use the authentication provider. it will call the internally authentication provider, and authentication provider internally calls the user detail service. So user detail service fetch the DB details where you have stored your detail, that may be in the in memory or it may be in the database. So user detail service fetch all these details from the database, and once we got this detail, that detail must have the roles. You may have specified the roles in database as well. So once we got these roles, it will populate this authentication object, and which object contain this principal, that is logged in user detail and all its authorities, whatever the role you have specified. Hope so guys, you are clear. And once we got this authentic user detail service and authentication object, then it will populate into the security context. Means this user is logged in, and if user is logged in, then in the session you will get the security context, and in security context we will get this authentication object. An authentication object has the all details about the user and its authorities. Hope so guys, you are clear with this kind of flow. Now the next flow is request for secured resource having required role. Now suppose we have any resource which required a super admin kind of role only, that kind of request scenario here. So let's check. This is the request and this is the secured resource which required the super admin role. So request comes to the security for system filter, get the security context because the user is already logged in, and it get the security context from the session and directly populate into the security context holder, right? Now this will goes to the logout filter. No. Then it will check for the authentication. No, it is already logged in, it's not for authentication type filter. Now it goes to the remember me filter. Is it the request for remember me? No. Then it will goes to exception. Is it the exception? No. It will goes to the filter security interceptor, and from interceptor it will goes to the access decision manager. So filter security interceptor here checks, oh, this request is trying to access this resource. This is the secured resource and this user is already logged in. But the thing is that this resource is only accessible to the user which has the authorization of super admin. If the user is super admin, then only this resource will be available. So what it will do, it will delegate this request to the access decision manager, and access decision manager will check if this user has the super admin role, then only it will grant access to the secured resource. Hope so guys, you are clear with this all kind of flows here, and I have tried as many as possible to navigate this flow so that it can be easily understand.